I'm excited for this episode. Today, we are talking about abundance. And abundance is not just something that you measure in your bank account, it's something that you live and feel every day. And this is something that took me a long time to really grasp, but when I did, everything started changing. And the truth of abundance is that you don't need to become abundant. You already are abundant. You're already abundant by nature. And if you need any proof, just look at your own body and the world around you. How many breaths do you take every day, right? Without even thinking about it. How much hair grows without you having to do anything about it? How many neural pathways do you have firing in your brain right now? Nature is abundant and you are part of nature. Therefore, abundance is your natural state. And so the real work in feeling abundant is letting go of any beliefs, any behaviors that convince you that you are not already abundant. That is the real challenge. And it's something that we don't talk about enough. Abundance isn't just about what you have, it's about the state that you allow yourself to be in. It's about letting your nervous system rest and be at peace. This is where abundance comes in. It's about allowing ease in your life. It's about allowing relaxation and letting things be easy for you without guilt, right? Without fear of judgment and without feeling like you're cheating or not doing your part. And here's a question for you to consider, because this definitely used to be a problem for me. And I want you to think about this. If you're sitting at home or sitting in the office or wherever you might be and you're by yourself and perhaps you're just relaxing or you're scrolling on your phone, when somebody walks into the room, do you have to jump up and look busy? Now, this was me. I used to listen out. If I was at home by myself, as soon as I heard someone pull up, I would have to get myself busy because I didn't allow myself to relax. It didn't feel comfortable for people to see me relaxing because I'd feel like I was going to be in trouble. And for many of us, this has been something that we've grown up with. This feeling that we have to be constantly busy, that we have to be in a space we're at maximum capacity of stress or time or energy as a boundary. And so this is where we can sometimes end up with only being able to enforce our boundaries when we're in a state of depletion or even sickness. And we feel justified to only rest when we're in burnout mode. But this is the thing that I want you to know, and this is the key for you to bringing in abundance into your life or allowing abundance in your life, is that you can set boundaries around your abundance. You can have boundaries that protect your peace, your time, your energy. And the thing that you got to know that really makes this a lot easier is that you are not responsible for other people's lack. Other people can rest if they want to rest. Other people can have boundaries around their standard of living. You don't have to shrink yourself or stay in the trenches with others to prove that you're a good person. You can be the lighthouse. You can stand tall. You can really show what's possible by living it yourself. And I've experienced this in so many ways in my life since I really got this understanding, and it's still a work in process. It's still something that I continuously work on for myself. But when I allowed myself to feel abundant before the circumstances of that fully showed up for me, by the way, everything started to shift. And that shift is what led me to having a personal stylist and working with a PT every week, having my dream new car, having renovations done at my house, booking a holiday to Europe, my dream holiday that I'm spending 3 weeks in Europe, taking trips without my partner. That was another one because my partner works really hard, I had to allow myself the abundance that I could take trips without him, and it was okay. So this year I went to Bali with some friends. In December, I'm going to India with another friend, because it's the spaciousness, it's the experiences, it's the abundance of adventure that I want to experience that I allowed myself to have. And having this way of allowing myself ease is also what led me to having a gardener and having a cleaner at my house, so that I could spend more of my time in the spaces where I add the most value. And I can assure you that I don't do my best work cleaning the shower, right? That's just not my thing. And now that I have people that support me in doing these things, I know that in that abundance, I'm supporting other small businesses, and I'm also enjoying my life more. I'm feeling more at ease. I'm feeling like I'm living the life that I want to live because I've allowed myself to do that. And it also changed the way I structure my business. This is really key. A lot of the things that I find as a problem with the clients that I work with, especially people that have had established businesses and they've built teams, is that they are working so many hours and they're feeling hard, like to put in boundaries or to ask people to do things for them. But when I really moved into this space of allowing this abundance and this freedom in my own business, I changed how I work. I'm now only client facing 3 days per week. So clients who come and work with me one-to-one, there's only 3 days a week I'm available for that, because that is where I have boundaries that allow me to still feel abundant and resourced in that space. I don't start work before 10 a.m. in the morning. I have mornings so that I wake up without an alarm. I go for a daily walk. I go to the gym. I do the things that make me feel abundant by putting in that boundary. Are there people that would like me to start earlier? Probably, but that's not my responsibility. I'm not responsible for their lack. I'm responsible for my boundaries around my abundance. And you are too, right? And this is the beauty about having your own business, is you get to be the boss. You get to decide how you want it to be. You get to decide how many hours you want to work, how many clients you want to see, how much money you want to make. That's all of the abundance that you allow yourself to do. And these things haven't just happened for me because I worked harder. They happened because I decided that I was allowed to live abundantly now. And I began making choices from that place. Now, for me, I do think that there was a moment when I turned 50 this year that I went, you know what, I'm now 50. I've worked hard enough and I'm allowed to have this type of abundance in my life. But there's no rule that says you have to be 50. It's whenever you decide it, whenever you decide that for yourself. And we all have this thermostat on abundance. We have the thermostat, which is the set point of how much we will allow ourselves. And so if we get more abundance than that, we'll bring it back down to less. If we get too much less, we'll bring it back up to wherever that thermostat is. It's something that we will do. So how much you allow will determine how much you actually have. And so if you decide that you want to allow more ease in your life, you'll also allow in more money to pay for these things. And this is a really important thing, because people will make the amount of money for what they deserve, they believe they deserve is their experience of life. If you don't believe that you deserve to have a cleaner or a gardener or someone, a VA helping you in your business or whatever other support that you have, you won't make the money to pay for them. I want you to really understand that, like how much money you allow yourself to make will be directly related to how much you feel like you deserve to have. And when you really think about this for yourself, you have to know that it's true, because how else do you consistently make the type of money that you make now? How else do you consistently put yourself under the level of stress that you put yourself under now? It's a thermostat. It's a decision. All of your thoughts and decisions will consistently lead to the experience of life that you create for yourself. So when you know that, you can decide to change it. Awareness equals consciousness. I talk to my clients about this all the time. You can't change what you're not aware of. When you are aware of it, then it's yours to decide to change. And if you were to think about this for yourself, because I really want you to get this understanding that you are already abundant. Really take some time to think about where in your life can you already know that you're abundant, but you haven't been acknowledging it. I was talking to someone just recently about this, and what's really interesting is that I love travel, and a lot of the places that I've traveled to would classify as third world countries. I've spent a lot of time in Indonesia, Vanuatu, Numia, all different types of places like that, Thailand. And one of the things that always blows me away is the standard of living that a lot of people in the world live in. And if you're listening to this podcast, I will almost put bets on the fact that you're living a pretty good standard of life. And that might just be that you have a solid house to live in, you have running water, you have electricity that's there at the flick of a switch, you have hot water, you have food that you can access, you've got internet, you can put petrol in your car, you can go out and breathe fresh air, you can sleep at night in a nice comfortable bed, you've got a wardrobe full of clothes. There's so much abundance that you have that is mind-blowing to the majority of the world. And we have to start by acknowledging this. We have to start by acknowledging this. And this is one of the things that, like I said, I always get this when I travel and I see how other people live in the world. It always brings back to me how lucky we are. And so if you've been in a place of struggle, know that it's not permanent. It's not permanent. It's not something you have to keep doing. You just have to decide that you are allowed to let in more abundance. Okay, this can also come from a place of things that we have been conditioned as children, the environments that we grew up in, the people that we spent time around. This is a really common thing as well. When we decide to grow, and our personal growth, our business growth, our wealth growth, you're likely to grow beyond that which has been acceptable of perhaps your friends or your family or where it is that you've came from. That can feel uncomfortable. And other people can have judgments about abundance and what that means. That does not mean that that needs to be the rules for your life. You can show people what's possible. You can let your abundance be a way that makes you more resourceful. This is such a key thing because this is what I notice. When people have their thermostat set too low on what they allow for themselves, they will have a place where they will run themselves into depletion. And I used to do this. This is definitely something that I used to do. So I get it. I remember I used to keep myself so busy so that I would have a reason not to do the things I didn't want to do. Right? So I want to think you to think about that for yourself. If you are feeling busy all the time, what is being busy preventing you from having to do? What is it? Right? There'll be something. There'll be something that you're using your busyness as an excuse for. And if you are constantly in a place of lack financially, what is not being able to afford it giving you an excuse for? What are these things? Because they're there. They're in your thoughts. They're in your language. And for you to allow abundance, you have to know that you can have boundaries around your overflow. You can have boundaries around how you use your excess of time. You can have boundaries around how you use your excess of energy, excess of money. That's still completely up to you. That's what you get to do in a place of abundance. So what would actually change for you if you gave yourself permission to turn up that thermostat, right? To receive more, to have more ease, to have more rest, more support without apology, without having to earn it, without having to explain it. That is the key thing. And this is the key thing that stops people from having abundance. You have to, if you were to think right now, right, one of the common things I hear people say is like, oh, wouldn't it be great if I won the lotto? What would winning the lotto do for you? What would suddenly having a whole heap of money come into your life actually do for you? I want you to think about that for a moment, because people will say, well, I'd have choice and all those kinds of things. Maybe I'd go and buy a house or a car or whatever I wanted to do. But the key thing that really is at the core of that is that people feel like if they had extra money, they would be able to relax. They would have relief. They would be able to breathe. They could get out of a stressed state. Well, guess what? It's not the money that's going to decide that for you. It's you that decide that for you. You decide that you can be in that space of ease and flow and abundance, and the abundance in money and whatever else you want will come with that. Oh, that's a deep one. It's a hard one when you first get it, but I can tell you it pays off. Allow yourself that ease. I could talk about abundance for a long time. In fact, I talk about it quite a lot. But I hope you've really got something out of this episode. And just know you are abundant. It's your nature. You're allowed.